The tier list community is currently ranking some of the most iconic movie posters ever created, and I thought, since everyone loves to hear my movie opinions, why not join the club? Let's rank and review some of the most iconic movie posters ever created. So here we are. I want to make one thing clear. I have not looked at the entirety of the selections in this tier list. I wanted this to be as genuine as possible. Yes, there's gonna be movie discussions throughout this journey. Yes, I might rant a little bit, but for the most part, we're gonna try to keep this strictly to the actual poster itself. So let's get to it. First and foremost, we have Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and while I do like the art itself, I think it's just fine. So I'm gonna put this in C. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, one of the best Batman movies ever created, and I fully stand by this. I think it is genuinely the definitive Batman movie. I like the poster. I love the skies in the background. I love Batman with his wings open. I just think if you took the mask off of this poster, it would be an all-time classic poster. Therefore, it's going in A. The Exorcist, I like the colors, I like this shade of purple, I like how simple it looks, I like how ominous it looks, but I don't think it's like an all-time classic poster for me, but I'm gonna put it in great. We're gonna have this be an actual, like, each first entry to these tiers are gonna set the tone. Now, The Little Mermaid. I think The Little Mermaid is an all-time classic poster. Maybe I'm crazy for that. I think it's beautiful. I think it conveys exactly what we are going to get out of this movie when you first see it. When you look at this picture, you're like, yeah, that's one of the best movies ever created. Also, shout out to this movie. It gave one of the best moments in Kingdom Hearts 2 with Sora singing Under the Sea. Unforgettable moment. Let's put this where it deserves. All-time classic poster. Soul. I have not seen Soul. I like this poster. I think it's a great poster. I don't know how they could make this any better. I think it's great. Therefore, I will put it in great. I like the piano keys. I like that shade of blue. I like everything about this poster, but I wouldn't say it's almost perfect or close to the all-time classic poster tier list that we're trying to create here. So, it's going in great. Okay. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I mean, come on. Everyone knows these movies. Everyone knows these posters. These are some of the best posters ever created in our lifetime. We have to put this in S. Full Metal Jacket. It's a cool poster. I wouldn't say it is great. I'm going to put this in okay, I think. I really don't have much to add here about this movie. I've never seen it, so I don't know how it matches up with the movie itself, but I am going to put this at okay. Tremors. This is a great poster, I think. Yeah, I think this is a great poster. I think it conveys the message of the movie. I like the colors of the orange. I like how it looks like, you know, I don't want to say identical to Jaws' poster, but I want to say it looks closer to, you know, being influenced by Jaws while also setting its own tone, which is, it seems a lot more chaotic, and like the characters in the movie are going to be in a far more dangerous situation than dealing with a shark in the ocean. But for its posters, because of its design, because of how the monsters look, I'm going to put this in great. The Breakfast Club. I mean, come on. This is one of the best movie posters ever created. You look at this, you're like, yeah, this conveys everything about the movie. I love the colors. I love the characters. I love how you could tell each of the characters' tones, right? I like how you can understand, like, oh, this is a bunch of misfits. I can't believe that people put this in just okay. I think this is genuinely one of the most iconic movie posters of all time. That might be a hot take, but that's just my opinion. Independence Day. I feel like there needs to be, I don't want to say different colors here. I feel like there needs to be more of like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I feel like there needs to be more aliens here. Like, I don't want to be like, oh my God, it has to be aliens, but there needs to be aliens, or I feel like the sky needs to maybe be blue instead of me putting it as an orange there. I like the poster. I think it's a cool poster. I think you could tell it's going to be an epic movie just by looking at the poster, which, yes, I've seen it. But there's just something about the poster that makes me lean more towards great than almost perfect, let alone all-time classic poster. A silent voiced movie. I've never seen this movie. I've never watched this movie. I'm not really big on anime. So because I really have no opinions about the poster, I don't know if it even conveys the tone of the movie itself, I'm going to put this in not good. Fargo. I remember seeing Fargo for the first time. I like this poster. I don't think it's a classic poster. I don't think it's almost perfect. I like the visual. I like how it has an aesthetic to it. I like how it has that winter tone to it, but I can't put it in almost perfect, and I don't want to put it in just okay because I do like the art on the poster, so I'm going to put it in great. No Country for Old Men, a movie I have never seen. Now, basing it just off the poster itself, it looks intense and like it's a dark movie, or there's some sort of serious underlying tones in the movie, but for the most part, I don't really feel like it's a great poster. Like, it looks fine, so we're gonna put this in okay. Spider-Man Homecoming. I was gonna say No Way Home for a second there. I think this is a great poster. I wouldn't say is my favorite poster. In fact, I'll give a hot take here. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, I think, on this, but I don't like any of the MCU Spider-Man posters. I think they're all extremely lackluster, especially the Spider-Man No Way Home posters. I think they all leave a lot to be desired, especially when you compare them to the Amazing Spider-Man posters, and of course the iconic Sam Raimi Spider-Man posters. They just don't do them for me. I think the MCU, when it comes to their Spider-Man posters, they've just been missing it, and they haven't done anything to really reset what was once a very high standard, and I hope that they do so with Spider-Man Brand New Day. So therefore, we're gonna put it in C. Okay. I don't know what movie poster this is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I should know what this is. I really do feel like I should know what this is, and I don't. And because of that, I have no opinion on it. I like the blue. I feel like there's something with a horde of people here. Maybe it's an apocalyptic movie. Maybe it's a sci-fi movie of some kind. I like overall what it's trying to go for, but because I really can't pull any thoughts or emotions off the poster itself, we're gonna put this in okay. I mean, come on. 2001: A Space Odyssey, an epic drama of adventure and exploration. The font style, the yellow coloration on the font, the actual space aesthetic, the white border with the nice bold black text. All-time classic. Come on. The Shape of Water. I've never seen this movie. I actually bought it just recently because at the recording of this video, the Criterion Collection is happening right now. So I bought this and I plan to watch it. But for the poster itself, I think it's a great poster. I really feel like you could tell there's a love story there. I like the underwater aesthetic. I like the simple font that's not bold. I feel like if it was bold, it would take away from the main focus of the poster, which are the two characters. I like the light shining on them. I think this is a great movie poster. Hook. Fun fact, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I am a very big pirate person. I love pirates. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I wish we had more pirate movies in Hollywood today. I really do. But this poster, I'm not going to say it's okay, and I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I like how it looks like a map or, you know, kind of like burnt paper around the edges. I like how Hook is red to catch your attention. I like the characters, how they're all in just like a little arc there. I think this is a great poster. I like everything about it. I even like how you can see the hat there. I like how he stands out. I like the Hook itself standing out in the center or right along with, you know, the actual word Hook. This is a great poster. Yeah, I like this. So let's put it in B. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's so many different versions of this poster, and there are very different iterations of fan-made ones that I've seen that I've also liked as well. But for this poster, I feel like you look at this poster and I don't get hyped for the movie itself even though, you know, Miles Morales is there and all the Spider-Man are there, right? Of course, Manhattan in the background looking amazing, the iconic Spider-Man font that they made just for this movie. I think what I think of, and this is why I'm going to put it in great, is the memories I have when Spider-Verse first came out. And because of that, I feel like it has to go in great. Plus, as I said, there are better Spider-Man posters. So let's just put it there. Again, I want to reiterate, when it comes to A&S, we have to set a standard. These have to be amazing posters. Therefore, this is not an amazing poster and it does not deserve to be in those tiers. So let's put it in great. Blade Runner 2049 is another movie that I need to watch. I hate admitting that because I know a lot of people love those movies. I myself don't necessarily love it. I think, you know, the poster itself is a little too harsh. I wish the logo in the poster itself was different colored. Maybe if it was just white and then 20 was red and the 49 was blue, it would be better. But for the most part, the poster is just okay. Like, it's like fine. I wouldn't say it's ugly, but I just feel like little changes could make it look better or at least have a better aesthetic. The Joker poster has to be an almost perfect. Like, I don't know if I would say it's an all-time classic poster yet, but I love that this poster really had people traveling to the location of these stairs and doing the dance and going down the staircase. I love the aesthetic of this movie in general. I love how this poster conveys that. I like how the one thing that really stands out in the poster is Joker himself and how he's very colorful versus the gritty aesthetic of New York City. I like the Joker font just being white. I think I love how Joaquin Phoenix's name is right under Joker. Like, everything is there. It's just, I wouldn't say that this is an all-time classic poster yet. So we're going to put this as the next entry in A. Perfect Blue. I like how it has like that detective noir look. I like that font in general. I would have not made it black. Maybe I would have made it white, like reverse it, or maybe instead, since it's called Perfect Blue, I would have changed the white stroke or drop shadow under Perfect Blue and I would have made it blue. So then that way it's like, oh, Perfect Blue. It's a little subtle nod to it. I like the character designs. I like the art itself. I can't really see what the quote is saying here in this tier list, but for the most part, because I don't really have any attachment to it and I feel like there are better anime posters that we've seen over the years, I'm just gonna say it's okay. I mean, come on, do I need to say anything? Do I need to say anything about the thing? What are we doing here? See, this is a great anime poster. I have never seen this, but I can say that I love the art style. I love the logo font. I love the art of the animal behind the main character. I like how there's little bits and pieces of the red to match the logo. I like everything about this. I like how the one part of light that's shining throughout the poster is not taking up too much space and is not too vibrant. I love everything about this. It's just I've never seen the movie itself, so I can't really compare the poster to the movie to kind of have a stronger opinion, but it is better than the various anime posters we've recently seen. So we're gonna put this, in my opinion, in great, which is, I want to make sure I have the right color there. When we're talking about fantastic anime posters, this is what we are talking about. I have never seen this movie. I've heard a lot of bad things about the live action remake, but this is as great of a movie poster you can ever want for an anime movie. So for Ghost in the Shell, we're putting it in almost perfect. I wouldn't say it's all-time classic because I don't really see that movie amongst other greats that this tier list might have. Again, I haven't seen the tier list. I don't know how many posters are here, but we're doing this for fun. And with what we know so far, this deserves to go in A. There's too much going on here. 500 Days of Summer, like, yeah, you could tell there's a lot of days. I mean, they did that job right, but that's a harsh kind of look to a poster, especially with the font. I would have made the font the center or like on top of all of that, like maybe have like a nice yellow 500 Days of Summer to, of course, make a nod to summer, and then a bunch of posters there, or like a bunch of like posters across the poster itself, so then that way it's like a arc going across it, and then it's 500 Days of Summer. But I don't like this at all. So we're putting this in D. A Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, to me, I'm not a big fan of these movies, but the poster itself, it's iconic, right? So you have to put this either in almost perfect or in all-time classic. I don't know if there are better posters for these movies and this franchise. So because it's the first one, I think, because it says Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street, I know there's multiple movies, and I know one of them is even called Wes Craven something. I am going to say that this is almost perfect. That's what we'll say. I want to leave room. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. Look, real quick, let me continue my thought on Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to leave room for other movies that might be S tier, and I want to make sure that these tiers are both great, and the S tier clearly has a leap, and we've just taken a leap in discussions here with this poster. Oh my god, one of the best posters ever created. I cannot believe that we have so many fantastic Batman posters. Batman posters typically don't miss. This is one of the few posters that right now, if you give me an HD quality foam background, I'm going to use it today. That's how good this poster is. We are putting this in S tier as it deserves. Now this, I like the white border. I like the use of the white in the bottom. I like the Friday the 13th and how the 13th has the blood that matches as if the blood dripped onto 13. I like the look at Camp Crystal Lake in the silhouette of Jason, right? I love this all. I think it's perfect. I like the little quote up top to really set a tone. I think this is almost perfect. I think the one thing that I would have changed about this poster, and maybe this is just me, is I would have added a stroke around the black box so it's white and then it has a red border and then it's still the same thing. That's the one little change I would have made. So it's gonna go in almost perfect. This is a great poster. I don't really have much to say here. I think it's great. I think I like a lot of what's going on here. I like how the silhouette of the tornado is such a strong presence in this poster itself. I just think there are better posters out there, which is a shame, but that's the truth here. So we're going to put this in great. Yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I like the electrocution look. I like the roof of the house with the Christmas decoration. I think it's fine. I just don't think it's great. I do think that it is an okay movie poster, and that's just how it is. There are better posters out there. Donnie Darko. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I like the font. I like how it has that glare of light look on it. I like how it has a white border. I think the very clear look at a monster because of the ears and the smile is interesting, especially with the eyes. I like how you can see the little faces of the characters of the movie there. I think this is a great poster. Yeah, I'm going to settle with that. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time. I love dinosaurs. This is a known fact about me. I love this poster. I think it is perfect, whether it's this version or just a version with the logo itself and then it's saying the summer year, or just an adventure 65 million years in the making. I think this is definitively one of the most perfect posters ever created in our lifetime. S tier. Aliens. I think that this is almost perfect. I like the coloration. I like how the hero clearly stands out. I like the chaos happening in the background. I like how it has a white border. I like how aliens is spread out. I like how the eye has a glare to it. I like how you can feel a sense of heroism in the poster itself. I think this is almost perfect. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, do I need to say anything about this poster? The orange for the font is perfect because it matches the pumpkin. The aesthetic of the logo matches the Halloween / festive vibes. The iconic silhouette of the hill with the moon in the back and Jack singing his heart out. Everything about this is perfect. This is an all-time classic poster, and I refuse to be told otherwise. Singing in the Rain is a poster. I mean, yeah, like you see people singing, you see them wearing, yellow to match. You see the umbrellas and the nice use of the font where it says, "What is a glorious feeling?" And, I like the logo and how it has, this kind of fun aesthetic to it. I like how, the actors are there all one after the other. It's all fun. I like how it has the blue to match the sky, everything. But there's just better movie posters, and that's okay. You win some, you lose some. So to see, it goes. I mean, come on. This is an all-time classic poster. There really isn't much to say here. The iconic pose, the nice bold font that captures your attention that says Rocky, the nice use of the black border to give it depth so that way it looks like you're looking at an actual photo. Everything about this is perfection. And the black border is exactly what I was talking about for the Friday the 13th poster, where I just would have added that, but make it red. That's all I would have done, and that to me would have been an all-time classic poster. But for Rocky, that's going an S. That's a bad poster. That is not good. Good Lord. Oh my God. What a poster this is. There really isn't much to say here, but I don't like the orange in the background. I don't like the silhouettes of the people hugging in the background. I don't like the orange kind of coming around the character to add depth. I don't like that. I don't like the skies in the background, even though I think the gray skies could have done a better job of adding depth to this poster. I don't like the font because it's so boring. I feel like if you're going to go bold here, you need to make every aspect of this poster bold. But, yeah, we have a new entry and not good. Look, man, I've said this before, okay? Ghost in the Shell, fantastic poster. But the Akira slide, the aesthetic, the nice use of the various shades of red, the white to use to, let the red actually stand out, the bold font that says Akira, iconic, all-time classic poster. You see, I kind of disagree here with a lot of people that are voting. I don't think this is a very good poster. I don't think this poster has any real depth. I don't like that the font of Training Day isn't bigger. I feel like if you're gonna not have a lot of colors, you might as well make the logo bigger so it captures people's attention. I don't like how, you don't really see any sort of depth between the main character here and the character behind him. I just don't like this poster. It's fine. I wouldn't say like, oh my God, this is one of the worst posters ever made. But I will say, this is a very bad poster. I'm putting this in not good. Sorry, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I fear we have another entry in our not good list. I do not like this poster. I kind of understand what it's going for here with the carnival vibe, but it's not doing much for me. I just think there's too many things going on here. I feel like the Willy Wonka logo needs to be bigger, and that needs to be the center of attention in this poster, along with Willy Wonka himself. I don't think it necessarily needs all these things happening under him. I think if you take that out and if you move him up and you make the Willy Wonka font bigger and you keep the scrumdiddlyumptious, or however you say it, along with the people on his shoulders, right? Then it would be a better poster. But this poster, not good. Come on. This is, along with Jurassic Park, one of the best posters ever created. I love everything about this. I love the aesthetic. I love the flames on the street. I like the lights glaring as you open up the DeLorean. I like the stance he's in where he's looking like that. I like the Back to the Future logo. I like the grain on it. I like the shades of blue into the orange, which then goes into the flames itself. Of course, the iconic shoes. Everything about this poster, perfection. Perfection. Absolutely amazing. S tier. You don't get to 500 million friends without making a few enemies. Well, you don't get to the not good tier list made by I Don't Beat Games unless you look like this. I don't think this is not good, but I think it's just fine. Like, yeah, the guy is driving. Yeah, you could tell something's about to go down. He looks suspicious. The light glaring is very clearly a sign of someone following him because you can see in the background, right? I like all of this. I like how the logo is just drive in a random color seemingly, but I would put this in the okay tier versus the not good tier because the not good tier has some very bad posters. You see, I don't like this version of the poster. Like, yes, it's the same thing, but I like the other version better, and therefore, I feel like there's a big gap between the two because the first version we just put on our tier list is just so clean, so simple, so well thought out. Everything about it is just the absolute highest tier of perfection. Well, this leaves a bit to be desired as an alternate poster, so I'm just going to put this in great. I don't know if that makes sense because I feel like there's a clear difference in terms of how they're visually, or aesthetically pleasing. I just think the other one is much better. And even though they're kind of the same thing at their core, I think the change in visual tone in this is very noticeable, along with how much different or how worse it looks when you have Akira in the white text with the red graffiti on it versus the red graffiti on the black text. So I'm just going to put this in great. Okay, this is, along with Harry Potter, one of the most iconic posters of all time. It's one of the best posters of all time. But I just want to say this because a lot of people don't know this about me. I never watched these movies in completion. I've only ever watched them in bits and pieces on TV as a kid. And recently, I went through the Star Wars sequels and then the prequels. And then I have to watch the new recent trilogy again. But I loved Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I thought it was a banger movie. I adored this movie so much. I was telling my friends while watching it, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. The music, the duel, the intensity, the emotion. I loved everything about this movie, and I think it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies, ever made. So I just want to put that out there for those who care about Star Wars. Yes, I love this movie. I also have a hot take where I don't hate the Phantom Menace Episode 1. I just want to put that out there. But anyways, in regards to this poster, I think it's S tier. Like, I really don't think there's a debate here. I get what this poster is going for. You guys tell the underlying comedic tone, especially because it's Steve Martin. Yes, there's a father there, clearly. Yes, there's a bride there, the father of the bride. Yeah, and everything adds up. I just think we need to go into the okay tier versus the not good tier because I'm trying to make sure that the not good tier has some offensively bad, movie posters. And again, I want to make sure that each of my tiers, as we progress through this, has a very clear distinction of like, okay, going from this tier to this tier, you can see the leap. This tier to this tier, you see the leap again. That's what we're trying to go for here. So therefore, I think it's fine. Okay. I don't know if I hate this poster. I don't know if I like this poster. I don't get anything out of this really. At least in this context because it's small in this tier list UI. I commend them for not going with a white background. I like the font. I like the quote on top where it says the entertainment experience of a lifetime. I like that there's very clearly small details that are within the poster, but I'm just going to say it's okay. Like, I'm not going to say this is not good because I'm sure if I zoomed into the poster itself or I looked up a high quality version of the poster, I'll see little details that I can actually appreciate. So let's just settle for it's fine. I think that's a bad poster. I feel like this poster should be so much better than what it is. And I'm trying to figure out what it is that is taking away from this. And I think the ultimate thing here that is a problem, there's two issues. Okay, number one, I would have taken the quote that's there that I cannot really see, and I would put it on top so it's in the white and you can read it clearly. That's one thing. And then number two, what I would do is I would shorten the image, kind of how we did for Rocky, and I would make it that the actual picture is a lot smaller and the font of Saturday Night Fever is actually, you know, in the white, so it stands out. Or it's in another color, so it's like a box colored, like the, which poster is it? The Exorcist poster. So then that way, it's like the top is the quote with the white background, a smaller photo, and then the bottom is either a colored box with that logo there still, or it's the white with the logo, and it's just slightly different colors. So, again, I think if you make those changes, we have an actual all-time classic poster here, but there's just too much going on. Like, yes, it has an aesthetic. Yes, it looks like a period piece. I want to say actually is a better wording here, because you could tell like what you're going to get out of this movie. I just don't know. Like, this has to be either very high up in the not good tier, or it has to be at the very bottom of the okay tier. And I don't know which one it is. That's why I'm struggling. You know what's going to change it for me? And we're going to put it in okay. It's the suit. It's the girl dancing. It's the dance floor. That's really what is stopping me from putting this in not good, if I'm being honest. But yeah, again, this poster, while it's like okay to kind of bad, I do think if you make the changes that I mentioned, or at least one of the changes that I mentioned, we have a much better poster here. Yeah, I mean, Aladdin, this is an almost all-time classic poster. I think this is almost perfect. The actual, rubbing of the lamp, someone holding it, the nice, magic that's very clearly coming out of the lamp, the iconic font of Aladdin, the nice colors that are within this poster. It's beautifully saturated. I love how, because of what's coming out of the lamp itself, you have the white glaring onto the lamp. It's like almost close to being perfect. I don't know necessarily what it is I would change out of this, but I do think this is better than great, and I do think it's close to all-time classic. So we're putting it in almost perfect. I mean, come on, right? Like, it has to go in S. It has to. I mean, the actual poster just speaks for itself. It sets a tone. The nice spread out font that's super simple. The ominous egg that's in the background, right? Everything about this is just perfection. It is simplicity at its best. Yeah, no, this is not good. Like, there's really nothing to say here. This is just not good. I understand what it was trying to go for here, but the aesthetic doesn't work. I really think you could have made better use of the space on this poster. I just don't like how, you have red on top of either a transparent font or just a really light font. That doesn't work. If you're going to put something on red, I feel like it has to either be a very bold or thick font that captures your attention, or you just need to go with a better color here. Not good. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like this is, in general, a good poster. I do like how it's just the face, and you see the nice saturated blue. I like how the eye captures your attention. The avatar font is gorgeous. The details on the face is gorgeous. I think everything about this is fine. I just feel like the one small change that I would have made about this is maybe either putting from the director either on the bottom or putting it on top where the white space is and making it either a dark blue or light blue, something of that. That would have made it almost perfect, but I think, no, do I want to put this in almost perfect? Am I gonna let that one small detail actually stop me? No, we're putting this in almost perfect. Okay. Oh, man. Avengers Infinity War, a movie that I still love, a movie that's iconic, a movie that is fantastic, one of the best Marvel movies ever created. The poster gives you that grand scale of epicness. I love how the colors are consistent. I like how Thanos is overlooking the Avengers. I like how Tony's in the middle. I like the Avengers font itself, right? I like everything about this poster, but there's one knock I want to give this poster, okay? And it's that I feel like this poster kickstarted an era of Marvel posters that just suck. And I do not like this new trend where you have all the characters of a Marvel movie on the poster itself. I just don't like it. And even though I like the movie, I love the movie, in fact, I just don't think that this is an all-time classic poster as well. So because of those two issues, plus I don't like all the actors and actresses in the background of all the characters, I feel like if you're gonna do that, you might as well put it under the Infinity War, and it might be there, but I can't see it in this tier list. I will settle for, I'm either almost perfect or great. We're putting it in great. Sorry. Now this, thank God I put it in great. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you. This is an almost perfect poster. In fact, I actually think this is an all-time classic poster. The grand scale of epicness, Hulk in the background, the chaos of New York City in the background, Iron Man in the middle doing the iconic pose, Thor sticking out there perfectly. You know, you got Cap in the background. You see the shield standing out, which is everything we wanted. Hawkeye looking at absolutely nothing because he does absolutely nothing in the movie. Everything about this poster is perfect. You see all the actors up top. The white border is perfect. The Avengers logo is iconic. Sorry, I'm a little too hyped here. It is perfect. Everything about this is perfect. And I feel like in years to come, we will be talking about this poster with the utmost love, appreciation, and respect. You're going into the S tier. The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, is an all-time classic poster. I mean, you have the characters. This is like the issue I have with the Marvel movies where like this is better to me than what we have today. I love everything about this. I like the iconic Lord of the Rings font. I love this movie, by the way. I saw it recently for the first time and I could not shut up about it on Threads and on Letterboxd. Again, link in the description. I want to say that this here is everything you want out of a poster because you could feel the epicness. You could feel that there's a beginning of a saga here. Everything about this conveys a message of the utmost quality and a sense of epicness. And therefore, it is S tier. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. I like the black border. I like how Footloose is very clearly in the middle. I like how it has the quote up top. I think the colors are fine because we don't really see this type of shade of violet or purple. I actually wish that the white border was that purple or violet color. That would be a little cooler to me. I think it's fine, but I think there are just better posters. That's just the reality. Like, literally, I don't know what you could change outside of the image itself to maybe, you know, be a more iconic shot from the movie, but I really like everything about it. It's just these small changes of like, make the border instead of white, make it purple, you know, maybe change the shot a little bit, or maybe that text there could be a little bigger, something like that. I like that it's unique and it's very clearly has an aesthetic going for it, but there's just better posters, so I'm putting it in C. Yeah, I mean, I want to say this is a good poster. I want to even say that it's a great poster, but I think it's just fine. Like, yeah, you have the shot of the Titanic, the shot of the characters up top, the blue skies, the Titanic font, a quote there on the top of the poster, I believe. I think everything about this is like fine. I wouldn't say it's offensively bad, but it doesn't really do much for me. So we're putting this in C. Yeah, I mean, this is almost perfect. This really is almost perfect. I don't know if I would change the logo color or if I would change the background or add something to, like, a little detail in the back, whether it's a moon or just some sort of landscape details, or maybe just a slightly different shade and some stars in the sky, like that little type of thing that adds a little bit of depth to it. But again, I don't think it's an all-time classic poster, but I do think it is an almost perfect poster, and therefore we are gonna put this in A tier. Yeah, that's a bad poster. That's a bad poster. Yeah, there really isn't much to say here. There's too many different colors. I don't know what this movie's about. I feel like the characters could be bigger in the background. I don't know why they're leaning on the blue. I feel like you could make better use of this white space. I really would have preferred if the Breakfast at Tiffany's logo matched one of the colors, or maybe like breakfast was the yellow, at was the red, Tiffany's was like the blue or the orange, something so there's a little more cohesion there. But this is just a bad poster. Come on. Like, this is like the epitome of an all-time classic poster alongside Jurassic Park. You know Halloween when you see this poster, the night he comes, and the he, you know, being italic, so that way like he stands down, you're like, who's coming? What's happening on Halloween? Halloween having white font with an orange stroke, the H and the N being the bigger letters, you know, it not taking up too much of the poster and having a nice white border to match the night he came home. Everything about this perfect. The slasher with the knife, the actual pumpkin looking ominous. Everything about this is just perfection. This is when people say cinema. I feel like I have to put this an all-time classic poster. I really do. I like this Pirates of the Caribbean poster. Pirates of the Caribbean poster. Sorry. I just made a video about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had to say the word Caribbean in it. I apologize. I know it's Caribbean. Don't yell at me in the comments. I just feel like everything about this I love. I like how it has, you know, the iconic scroll, the iconic skull logo, the Pirates font being perfect, the red and matching the bandana, everything happening in the bottom. So there's like a clear separation between the characters, the logo, something about the movie. You know, I like how everything about this just comes together in a very pleasing, you know, poster. Therefore, yeah, all-time classic. Man. I just feel like there's better posters. I do. I like this poster. I like the iconic logo. I feel like Ghostbusters is kind of like on the level of Jurassic Park, where if you just put the logo in the center of a black poster and you just put Ghostbusters and then like the day it's coming, like let's say they remade it a decade from now, that's how you do it. That's how you make a great poster. Just the actual logo, the Ghostbusters logo, back again or something like that, or summer blank year. That is how you make an iconic poster, because the logo is that iconic. But this poster, it just has too much going on. The here to save the world. I mean, I feel like you could have just made that one like full line, and that way it doesn't take up too much space. It takes away from the logo, and then that way you could kind of move the logo up just a little bit, so then that way the logo has more space to shine. I think the guys don't need to actually be on this poster. I think we're putting this in, it's either great or it's fine. I'm debating. What about this is great though besides the logo? That's the question. And the answer is nothing, so therefore we're putting this in C. I want to put this in not good, but I think that the way it has like was it, in the, with the, and all these different outcomes under it, along with the Clue logo and the house itself there, and you know, just like all these different little details that are there, I can't put it in not good as much as I think I want to. Do I put it okay? Do I think it matches the quality of Ghostbusters, Saturday Night Fever, Blade Runner, Spider-Man? No, it doesn't. I think we're gonna actually put this in not good. That's what's really stopping me here, because you know, I'm sure when you look up close and you see all the different lines and stuff, it might look better, but like from this view that we have, there's just a lot here. So we're gonna put this in not good. Come on. Come on, it's E.T. Everything about this poster, just like Jurassic Park, just like Halloween, just like Alien, right? I think this is definitively one of the best posters ever created. S tier, no debate, no question. The iconic silhouette of them riding in the sky, the beautiful big moon, the blue sky, the trees to like add some depth to it, the iconic E.T. logo, everything, every little detail, perfection. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad poster. I wouldn't say it's a classic poster. I wouldn't say it's almost close to being perfect either. I don't know what you do to make this a better poster. Is it okay or is it great? Because like I don't think you could do anything more to this poster, so I wouldn't say it's almost perfect. But I do think it's a generally like good poster. I kind of wish Devil was in red. That's the one change I think I would have made, actually. Devil being in red. So then it matches the shoe with the actual pitchfork on the bottom. I think that's the one little thing I would have changed. Make Devil red and you have an all-time classic poster. And you know what? Maybe if you make the shoe have take up a little more space, then we're talking. But I think we're going to put this generally in a great tier. I think this is great. What am I looking at? The girl with the dragon tattoo. There's a lot going on here. Yikes. There's just so much going on here. You have too much here of the font, then the names of the actors here, the quote you can't really see here, which if you bring down the all of this here actually, and you lower it just a little bit, and this is in the like gray area, that's fine. I commend them for going for a black border here. I mean, that's fine. I just don't think this is good. I'm putting this in not good. I think there's too much here. This is going in S tier. And I just want to say, for all my Star Wars fans, I loved Empire Strikes Back. I think it's one of the best movies I've seen in my life. I thought it was amazing. I loved everything about this, and it made the journey of watching all of these Star Wars movies worth it, along with Revenge of the Sith. And watching Revenge of the Sith and understanding how things play out was just like amazing. Absolutely perfection. I loved the movie. But for the poster itself, I mean, come on. Darth Vader's mask in the background. The Star Wars saga continues in the iconic font. The Empire Strikes Back logo having a little edge to it. Everything about this is just like all-time classic. Come on. S tier. Who is putting this in almost perfect? This is an S tier. This is one of the best movie posters ever created. Are you kidding me? I understand that maybe the green should be a little different or a little lighter so it's a little more, you know, legible, right? But like for the most part, this is an all-time classic poster. It does not get better than this for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That shot of them peeking out of the pothole and looking around, come on. New York City in the background with the blue in the sky and the skyscrapers, everything about this. All-time classic. I'm sorry, I'm putting it here. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad. There are much worse posters here. So, yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, okay. My question is, what would I change here? I like the font. I like that it looks kind of like an Atari video game. I know that's a random pull, but that's just the truth. I see this and I think of Atari. The Blade Runner logo is perfect. Harrison Ford's name being, you know, red and standing out is there. All the little, you know, important information about the movie itself on the bottom in red to match Harrison Ford is great. The space details on the bottom. I think like the one thing I would change is maybe the light behind him and make it less busy. That's like the one thing that I don't like about this poster. So, I think I'm going to put it in great. Yeah, I'll put it in great. I'll put it in great. I think it matches up with the rest of these. Okay. Gone with the Wind. I like the text, of course. I like how the quote is up top and you could read it. Unlike some of these other posters, I like the white border. I like the characters being center of this poster. I like the little details under the characters. I like how you can see the actor and actress's name. I like everything about how like they've handled all these little details. The one thing that I don't like is the orange color. I just don't think orange works well. I really don't. I do think this is the best use case for orange that we've seen thus far throughout all these posters. But for the most part, I don't think for a poster like this, there's many details you could change to make it better. But overall, I think it's just fine. So we're putting it in C. Yeah, I mean, this is a great poster. Adam Sandler, clear as day. Happy Gilmore, clear as day. The golf ball there, him with it, and is holding it in his hand. Him standing in the middle, clear cut. The blue skies in the background. This is a great poster. Okay, I'm so confused by these rankings. I think this is almost perfect. I do think the logo for Holes is perfect. The shot of the boys looking down a hole is perfect. You know the characters. Shout out to Zero. Met him at New York Comic Con. You know, this cast of characters are memorable. So, you know, if you've seen the movie, you know everything about who these characters are. I like how Holes itself has the sky there. I think everything about this is almost perfect. I think the one thing I would have changed is maybe taking the names of the cast, putting it in the bottom, right? I would get rid of all that information, take the cast, put it there, and push up in the front, push up that small quote to the top, actually, and then I would make the the quote there, you got to go dig those holes. That's it. That's like the only thing I would have changed. I think this poster is fantastic. I like that the colors are vibrant and saturated. It's just, again, you take the actors and actresses, you put it under the Holes logo, you push up the quote there, you make it bigger, you gotta go dig those holes in orange. That's it. That is the exact quote you put on that poster, and it's one of the best posters ever created. So therefore, I'm putting it and giving this hot take of almost perfect. Yeah, I mean, there's no debate here. The iconic shot of Jaws, the threat of sharks becoming a phenomenon, the iconic red logo, the iconic quote about the movie itself. Everything about this is perfect. I don't love this specific iteration of the poster. I mean, we've seen the clear ones has just the logo, everything like that. But in general, still all-time classic poster. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I mean, Jojo Rabbit, I like the colors. I like the font. I like how it has an aesthetic to it, or like a rustic look to it. I think the way they have the actors and actresses all together and kind of spaced down in a way that makes sense and doesn't take up too much space is great. I like that you could see the cast of the movie on the poster without them being, you know, thrown into them at low opacity. I think this is like the best version of that type of poster. But again, there are better posters, so we're going to put this in C. This makes me feel nothing. I don't think this is a fine poster. Oh, wait. Wait. Do I know this movie? I don't know this movie. I think I do. I don't know. Anyways, I think that this is just like not good. I really do think that this is just like not a good poster, honestly. I think it's there's too much going on with the city in the background. I understand it's trying to convey like this message of like these characters are going to go on this great adventure as they fly through the skies or whatever. Like, I know that, I understand that, but for the most part, I don't like it. Therefore, we're going to put it in not good. I mean, come on. Come on, right? Like, this is definitively an all-time classic poster. Come on, it's Kill Bill. What are we talking about here? The nice use of the red across the poster, the consistency of the yellow, the Kill Bill, nice bold font to match the strip behind her. Everything about this is almost perfect. But I like, if I had to simplify it, maybe I would either take away all that information about the movie and the people involved with the movie and kind of just let the poster speak for itself. And I understand you have to put it there. So I'm going to put this in all-time classic. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. I like the Dawn of the Dead being right in front of your face. I like that it's red. I like that it's bold. I like that it has like this crawling element to it. I like that you could read the quote there that says, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth, and the earth being all capitalized along with hell. I just think the one thing I would have changed, maybe, is the silhouette of the character. But I don't know much about the movie. I don't know how consistent it is with the character design of the movie. And because we're kind of strictly going off of this specific poster or the poster designs in general, I will say this is going to be great. I feel like, and maybe this is just a hot take, this is almost perfect, and there's one reason why. You get rid of all the information about the movie, you make the mask bigger on the edge of the corner here, you leave the Jim Carrey there, best poster created, or one of the best posters ever created. But I feel like the mask being there in the center just doesn't work for me. I feel like the information kind of takes away from the character itself, so we're going to put this in almost perfect. Do I want to put this in almost perfect or great? Because I really feel like this is like as great of a poster as you're going to get with a movie like Monsters Inc. And I love Monsters Inc. And I love how it says from the creators of Toy Story with the Toy Story logo. Perfect idea. I like that Monsters Inc. takes the focus of the actual poster along with the characters. I like how in theaters November 2nd is also bold to match the from the creators of. I think it's very consistent. I like that it's a white background and the colors come from the Toy Story logo, the Monsters Inc. logo, and the characters. I think this is almost perfect. I do. I don't know what I would necessarily change. Maybe having a door element to the poster might, work to kind of give a nod to the doors in the movie. But for the most part, I think this is almost perfect, or as close to perfect as it could get. Yeah, okay. We're putting this in not good. There's too much going on here with the water, with the Apocalypse Now logo, with the orange moon or sun, the character in the background, the character kind of overlaying with the clouds and the moon and the birds. Not good. It would have been I would have put this in a tier of its own if the whole poster looked like this and there was no white here to break it off. That would have made for probably its own tier of bad. But in general, it's just not good. I honestly don't like this at all. I just don't. I don't think anything about this is good. I don't even think any changes that I could suggest to this would make it better. It's just not a good poster. I feel like throw this poster away. It does not work for me. Not good. I think this is a great poster. I've never seen the movie generally, so I don't know how this conveys the message of the movie or how it sets the tone for the movie itself. But as much as I wish there was advice that I could say or an opinion I could say here and things that I would change, this poster has so many little quotes and details that I could probably see in a close shot that I would then go, oh, okay, I like how that's there, or I would have placed that there. So therefore, because of this being in this very small box or window, we're putting it in great. Yeah, this suffers from the Marvelification, is how I want to say it, of posters, where for some reason they need to throw every character in the movie on the post. I just don't know why. I just don't. I really don't know why. I really don't. It's not good. It has never worked. I think this poster would have been better if the family was kind of gone. The Madrigal, I believe is how you say it. I'm probably butchered that. It's been a while since I've said her name. Is the main focus of the poster, with the house being a little bigger. And then what I would have done is kind of like put a quote from one of the songs up top in the sky. And then I feel like you have a better poster here. I don't think it's bad, like horrendous, like the other not good posters we have here, which just again to show you, right? So I'm going to put this in. It's like fine. Because I like the logo, I like the yellow, I like the character designs, I like the house, I like the saturated look. It's just too busy. You simplify it and you have a great poster. The Polar Express poster is definitively an all-time classic poster. I'm not going to argue that. But I will say this, okay? And I just want to get this message out there. If you watch the Polar Express and you think the Polar Express is a great movie and you think it's somehow this perfect Christmas movie, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're in the wrong. That movie sucks. That movie is carried by nostalgia or memory of watching it as a kid back in the early 2000s on the day before winter break. And, again, just the soundtrack, which again, if we were talking about soundtracks, I want to say it is one of the best soundtracks ever created, like of all time. It's iconic. It is beautifully crafted from start to finish. But since we're just talking about posters here and we're going to remove my opinions from the movie aside, I'm going to put the Polar Express in S tier. Yeah, I don't know if this is bad. Oh, you know what's bad about this actually? I think those are all the cast members. Like this weird, like light font text that's around it as a border. If you remove that, you move the characters to the side, you make Pretty Woman take up the full space, then we have like a generally great poster. But I think for the most part, it's like fine. Like I like that the big focus is the characters. I like that the font of Pretty Woman is bold. I like that there's very clearly a quote in between pretty and woman. All of that comes together for a generally okay poster, but you take away the border, you move the characters a little more, make them bigger, you make Pretty Women bigger, right? Then we have something here. But for the most part, it's okay. Come on. Like, these are just movies. I mean, come on. We're in a trilogy of just like iconic posters, the best posters ever created. They are nostalgic. They are gorgeous. They have beautiful art on them. Every little detail works to this poster's benefit. Like, come on. Pulp Fiction to The Dark Knight to Raiders of the Lost Ark. Come on. I don't know what movies this is. This does nothing for me. Like, I don't think this is a bad poster, but I think what is bad about it in this specific scenario is that this poster has no logo, no quote on it, nothing to pull from, like, in the poster itself. Like, the poster is, like, okay at best, right? Because it's green, there's a silhouette there, there's something in the middle that I'm sure is important to the movie, right? I like how it's not fully green and doesn't take up the whole poster. Like, all that works to its benefit. But in this scenario, as someone that's trying to do this tier list, it's not good. So I'm going to put it in okay because the poster looks fine, but no. Do I want to put it in okay? No, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with my instinct here. We're putting it in not good. Yeah, this is a great poster. Howl's Moving Castle, beautiful, gorgeous sky, beautiful grass, the mountains in the background, the clouds in the background, the actual logo, the design in the front there, everything about this, great. I think we have to put this in all-time classic. I do. I think we have to either that or almost perfect. Because I think the one thing I would have possibly changed is either maybe the quote's color, maybe change that to make it stand out. Or maybe just change like add a little detail to the Scream logo itself to maybe make it a little better. Like, I think we're close to a perfect poster here. I'll put it here. That's a good poster. My God. I don't want to put it in all-time classics. I feel like an all-time classic, we have a standard here that is very clearly high. So we're going to put this in almost perfect, but that's a good poster. I don't like the yellow. That's the one thing that's stopping me from putting this in all-time classic. I know it's a classic movie. I know people love the movie itself. But for me, I just don't like this highlighter shade of yellow. I'm sorry. It's just not doing much for me. I like the logo. I like how it's all the focus of it. I like the quote where it says a masterpiece of modern art. I like all of that. Don't get me wrong. But the yellow is stopping me from putting this in all-time classic. I don't think that type of yellowish color does anyone any sort of good. So we're gonna put this in almost perfect because everything else about it is absolutely fantastic and absolutely iconic. But man, that yellow, you change it to almost anything else or even a different shade of yellow and then we're talking. Congratulations, not good tier. You have another entry because what is this poster? Good heavens. There's just so much going on. The characters on the side, all of this information about the cast, the logo, all this information here, whatever the hell's going on here, not good. I mean, come on. One of the best posters ever created. What are we talking about here? S tier. I think this is a great poster. I do. It's either great or almost perfect. I'm trying to see where it lines up visually. I like the art on this. I like the logo on this. I like the silhouette of the character. I like how the character takes up the focus. You could tell he's clearly flying. Like, I like everything about this character. And I like how the font has this retro feel to it. I like how the background is colored, but simple to not take away from the character in the center of this poster. I like so much about this. I'm just trying to debate whether it deserves to be in the same tier as Mask of the Phantasm, Joker, Ghost in the Shell, Friday the 13th. It's like on the cusp of that. And I'm trying to figure that out. I'm going to go against the grain here and put it at almost perfect. I think the one thing you might change here is maybe you take the same poster and you kind of make it smaller so it has a white border and you put the Rocketeer in the white border. That's like maybe the one thing that I would change about this. But in general, I think this is a fantastic poster. I like how this has an aesthetic to this. I like how the cast is clear cut. The actual the name of the movie itself is, you know, clear cut. The logo in the center is clear cut. Everything about this is like clean. But I wouldn't say it's great, so I'm putting it in just okay. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best posters ever created. Come on. Wall-E front and center, the Wall-E logo's perfect, the blue skies to, you know, capture the space element. I think everything about this, perfection. Wouldn't change a single thing. S tier you go. Hold on, I need to check. Oh, this is the last one. Nice. Are we gonna end this on an okay note? I mean, I don't think the art itself is bad. I don't. I am gonna put this in the final great entry. I like the colors. I like the logo. I like the separation between the characters. I like the skies in the background. I like the cloud. I like the your name in script. This is going to be a great entry. We have finished it. I will download this image and throw it up on your screen. This is my tier list. If you want more tier list, movie discussions, retro game videos, more discussion videos about things like physical media and live streams or more, let me know in the comments down below. As always, it's been your boy, I Don't Beat Games.